Government prioritize employment of Malaysian citizens. Action to be taken for ammonia pollution. Good evening, I'm Carlos and welcome to News on 2. Concerned about fears on the deluge of foreign workers in the country, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said the government had taken a number of measures to ensure that foreign workers are employed only if necessary. Now, he said the statements and government's policy is always to give priority to employment of Malaysian citizens.
Pemakaian akta ini, dasar kerjaan hari ini adalah memberi keutamaan kepada pekerja warga negara Malaysia untuk mendapat peluang pekerjaan. Kerajaan sedar mengenai kadar pengangguran di kalangan belia dan golongan muda serta memahami akan kepentingan untuk memperkasakan tenaga kerja dan bakat, talent, tempatan. Ianya juga harus melibatkan semua golongan masyarakat, termasuklah mempertingkatkan penyertaan wanita dalam tenaga kerja.
Tun Dr. Mahathir said foreign workers would only be employed if really needed by sectors that find it difficult to get local workers, mainly those categorized as 3D for dirty, dangerous and difficult. The Premier said the presence of foreign workers was due to the attitude of Malaysians who did not want to do certain types of work, even though these actually could be done by them. Tun Dr. Mahathir said this when officiating the 2019 Workers' Day celebration at the Putrajaya International Convention Centre today. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad today confirmed that the name of Acting Deputy Inspector General of Police, Dato' Sri Abdul Hamid Bador, was proposed as the candidate to be appointed as the new Inspector General of Police. Tun Dr. Mahathir said he believed the appointment letter had already been signed by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Bilal Shah.
Ya, saya fikir dia lah jadi IGP.
So surat pelantikan sudah dihantar kepada dia?
Saya fikir Agung dah sign.
Tun Dr. Mahathir was met after officiating the 2019 Workers' Day celebration at the Putrajaya International Convention Centre today. It has been heavily speculated that Dato' Sri Abdul Hamid would take over the top cop post to replace Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun, who will be going on mandatory retirement on 3rd May. Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi was appointed as the IGP on 4th September 2017. The Prime Minister also asked about the candidate to fill the post of Human Rights Commission or Suhakam chairman, which was left vacant by Tan Sri Razali Ismail. However, the Premier said there was no candidate for the post yet. Well, legal action will be taken against the owners of 2 catfish breeding farms believed to be the source of ammonia pollution found in Sungai Batang, Malacca on 28th and 29th April. Now, Chief Minister Adli Zahari said the state government will not compromise on matters concerning water pollution, such as the irresponsible move by the breeders, which affected at least 18,076 home accounts. Well, Adli also gave his guarantees to all account holders that the water pollution issue will be resolved immediately and that the water treatment plant will operate as usual.
Memberikan bekalan air minuman, cuma masalah kita adalah gangguan kepada sistem saliran kita yang menjadi punca air. Jadi dari masa ke semasa kita akan pantau dan dalam masa yang sama kita akan pastikan bahawa mereka yang terkesan daripada ini tidak terganggu dengan bantuan air.
Adli said this after launching the Jualan Pasar Peduli Rakyat in Merlimau Jas in Melaka today. The Melaka Water Regulation Agency, BKSA, has issued an immediate closure notice against the owners of 2 catfish breeding farms at Hutan Percha and Aluk Gajah following ammonia pollution found in Sungai Batang, Melaka. State Public Works, Transport and Public Utilities Committee Chairman Dato' Muhammad Sofi Abdul Wahab said based on investigation conducted, the ammonia reading exceeded 3.5 milligrams per litre, which is higher than the parameter set by the Health Ministry. DAP Sandakan Special Task Force will conduct many more activities for local residents to ensure that the goal of implementation is reached. DAP's candidate for the Sandakan by-election, Vivian Wong Shir-Yi, said the Special Task Force was set up by her late father for outreach to communities and government agencies, especially in the aspect of keeping good hygiene to combat the issue of dengue.
Vivian, who was met at a walkabout program at Taman Mesra in Sandakan, said the feedback from all levels of the population is positive and this encourages her to continue the legacy of her late father.
Saya akan melancarkan lebih banyak aktiviti gunakan tenaga task force kami dan akan juga continue yang tanggungjawab yang telah dipikul oleh bapa dan lebih banyak lagi aktiviti dengan dari task force.
Throughout the 5-day campaign since 27th April, Vivian and her campaign machinery actively carried out a monitoring campaign with residents in the Sandakan constituency.
Well, it was business as usual for ministers on Labour Day today at a special meeting convened at Perdana Putra. And the special meeting was chaired by Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and started at 3 p.m. The cabinet meeting is usually held every Wednesday.
The official vehicles of the cabinet ministers were seen entering the Perdana Putra compound in stages starting at 2:45 p.m. According to Education Minister Dr. Mazli Malik, the meeting on creating job opportunities was coordinated by the Ministry of Economic Affairs under the responsibility of its minister, Dr. Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali. He said among the issues discussed were the efforts to create 1 million jobs for the people, especially the youth in the country. All ministries were asked to present their respective papers on initiatives and approaches to the matter at the meeting.
Well, coming up, Cyberjaya Co-op City to uplift image of cooperatives. News on 2 continues. Now, Cooperative Commission of Malaysia's recently announced Co-op City at Tamarind Square in Cyberjaya is set to uplift the image of cooperatives, which has previously been seen as outdated. Its executive chairman, Dr. Noordin Saleh, said the choice of Cyberjaya as the location for the Co-op City was a symbolic decision to portray a futuristic image of the country.
He said this is necessary because even though the cooperative sector in the country is almost 100 years old, it has not totally reflected its achievements during those developing years.
Kita akan mula alah baru kita daripada sudah kita capai umur 100 tahun, 3 tahun lagi, itu 1000 hari lagi, kita nak buat countdown di situ sekarang juga. Sebab kita nak menunjukkan kepada masyarakat kita tak sabar-sabar lagi nak membawa perubahan, nak membawa koperasi ini daripada kampung kepada alah baru.
Dr. Noordin said this in his foreword for the Executive Talk Program and Kelantan Cooperatives Appreciation Day held at Wakaf Cik Ye in Kota Baru today.
Well, the Human Resources Ministry is planning to introduce a new law to provide Social Security Organisation, SOCSO, coverage for housewives. Its Minister M. Kulasegaran said the new law, which was one of 2 pieces of legislation the ministry hoped to enact, would benefit about 1.4 million housewives in the country.
Kulasegaran said the matter is still in the discussion stage and the details would be announced in stages after discussions between the ministry and the stakeholders are completed. He added that the move is the next step in Pakatan Harapan's aim to provide better security for Malaysian housewives.
Enlarging SOCSO's coverage to all housewives in the country, numbering 1.4 million. The act is more or less ready. That one is has been consulted and we are going to go through.
Cabaran suri rumah ni dari banyak segi lah kita nampak. Contoh dari beli barang dapur, pampers anak, keperluan harian, contohnya macam makanan kan untuk menukar, lepas tu kekalan family sendiri, untuk lepas tu nak bayar sewa rumah lagi. Jadi dengan adanya SOCSO ni dapat membantu suami sendirilah.
On the issue of foreign workers, Kulasegran said due to overwhelming demand from new industries, it is quite difficult to reduce the number of workers in the country. However, he said the government has introduced a new multi-tier levy system for foreign workers and the Integrated Foreign Workers Management System, EPPAX. He said EPPAX offered more transparency and accountability in the application for foreign workers. He said the system also eliminated the need to meet with government officers on the number of foreign workers employers were entitled to.
Especially when in the previous government, they have given special approvals. Special approvals means you come to me, I like you, I give you 100 workers, 200 workers, or 1,000 workers, or 10,000 workers. I don't like you, I don't give you. With my card. With all the, you surpass, you don't go through the system. Now under our system, anyone, all and sundry must go through the EPAC system.
Now, the government is planning to revive the tin mining industry in Malaysia back to its golden age as achieved decades ago when it was the largest tin producer in the world. Now, Water, Land and Natural Resources Minister Dr. Xavier Jayakumar said the deposits of tin in the country were huge as there has been no large-scale mining of the ore for the past 40 years.
Met by reporters recently, Dr. Xavier said the price of tin, which could reach up to $20 per ton today, is very attractive in the industry players, and with deposits amounting to millions of tons, the sector could again become a money spinner.
Now the tin deposits are huge in the country because we haven't mined tin for the past 40 years. And the price of tin today is very attractive to the industry players. And so we have discussed this in Cabinet, and we have decided that we will go into tin mining again and to give opportunities to the interested parties in order to go forth with mining of tin.
According to Dr. Xavier, the tin mining industry has not been completely halted, and currently there was only one company, Rahman Hydraulics Sendirian Berhad in Perak, is still mining the ore on a large scale. Meanwhile, on bauxite, he said preparation of the standard operating procedure to mine and export the bauxite will pave the way towards a better and sustainable mining activity with minimum impact on local inhabitants.
Well, the Assessment and Certification Program for the Industrialized Building System, or IBS, by the Construction Industry Development Board, CIDB, has a positive impact on the growth of the construction industry through the application of a systematic and comprehensive assessment method. And Works Minister Barubian said all products produced through the program will have its quality guaranteed. Now, the certification will also avoid any IBS industry players from bearing the risk of facing losses due to damage after construction.
The program, launched in January, is proof of the achievement achieved by the Works Ministry in boosting the IBS industry market in the country.
Program ini juga bersifat holistik yang memberikan verifikasi, validasi, pengujian dan pensijilan produk dan komponen berkenaan IBS yang mengikut ukuran yang ditetapkan oleh CIDB.
The use of modern high technology, especially IBS, is a major component in driving construction productivity under the Construction Industry Transformation Program 2016-2020. Impact is a program implemented based on CIDB's measurements of Construction Industry Standard CIS 24, 2018 evaluation and certification of producer and IBS products. It also ensures that every IBS industry player will always adhere to the prescribed determination.
Now, apart from savings in the Employees Provident Fund, EPF, employers can now choose to save their money at an alternative financial planning scheme, or Hibah Takaful, to prepare them for retirement days. However, according to Sharia solution expert Dayang Suziani Mawi, there is still a lack of awareness among the public because as of 2017, only 34 out of 100 Malaysians are protected through this Takaful plan.
Dayang Suziana said Takaful does not only provide medical or emergency protection, but also offers a backup financial plan for its contributors.
So bila tamatnya polisi tu, you boleh cash out. Boleh cash out duit tu mungkin untuk retirement. This can be your second EPF tau. Sebab ramai saya punya klien create portfolio of Takaful ni untuk bina satu lagi EPF dia orang. Jadi pada umur 55 dia ada EPF yang tu kan. Jadi umur 70 matangnya polisi ni dia ada lagi second EPF. Dan mungkin boleh guna untuk education anak-anak.
Aside from acting as a second EPF scheme, Hibah Takaful is also useful in cases of deaths among contributors where the savings can be distributed to the contributors' next of kin. Dayang Suziana said target groups that need to have a Hibah Takaful plan include couples with joint savings accounts, childless couples, and couples who have more daughters than sons, those who have special children, adopted children, and men who practice polygamy.
Champions Kedah have one foot in the semi-finals after downing 10-man PKNSFC 3-1 in the first leg of the FA Cup quarterfinals at the Shah Alam Stadium last night.
The Red Eagles went ahead in the 30th minute when Farhan Roslan floated in a cross for Spaniard Fernando Ortega to let fly a powerful shot which beat PKNSFC goalkeeper Zarif Irfan Hashimuddin all the way. 12 minutes later, Argentine Jonathan Baumann made it 2-0 from the penalty spot after being fouled in the box by Rodney Calvin. PKNSFC, who were FA Cup runners-up in 2016, were then reduced to 10 men when Kyrgyzstan's Timirlan Zobubayev was shown the red card by referee Muhammad Zamzaidi Katimin in the 30th minute for a foul on Farhan Roslan. Baumann then struck the stroke of halftime to give Kedah a comfortable 3-0 lead. PKNSFC, much to the surprise of Kedah, came back after the breather, a different team, and despite being a man short, still managed to get a goal back through Argentinian Gabriel Huera in the 64th minute. The return leg will be played in Darul Aman Stadium in Alosar on 10th May. Meanwhile, Kuala Lumpur scored 3 times against visiting Felda United yesterday, but they also conceded 3 goals in the first leg FA Cup quarter-final clash. Abdul Azim Brahim gave the opener for Felda United in the 23rd minute before Indra Putra Mahayuddin equalised in 40 minutes. Indra Putra doubled for Kuala Lumpur after the break in the 53rd minute, but the visitors came back just 6 minutes later as Abdul Azim made it 2-2. Felda United went ahead after 75 minutes when Josini Shkad coolly slotted it home. However, Paulo Yosu restored the host's dignity when he equalised for Kuala Lumpur 10 minutes before the final whistle was blown. The second leg will be played at Tun Abdul Razak Stadium in Jangka on 11th May. At the Manjung Municipal Stadium, PKNPFC recovered from their heavy league defeat to Perak last weekend to hold them to a goalless draw in their first league FA Cup quarter-final match. PKNP FC head coach Abu Bakar Fadzim has hailed his charges' ability to bounce back from their 4-0 league thrashing to Perak last Saturday. Their second meeting against the Bosgoros in Manjung is less than 1 week yielded a much better result, a goalless draw, which means they now only need a goal draw in the second leg to reach the semi-finals. The second leg encounter will be held on 11th May at Perak Stadium in Ipoh.
And with that, we conclude this evening's News on 2. In our top story, government prioritise employment of Malaysian citizens. Now, do join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos, and from all of us here, happy Labor Day.